Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to a Board of County Commissioners meeting, May 19th, 2026. If you would join me in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance indivisible. Thank you. Additions to our agenda.
On Friday afternoon, Delta County Board of Commissioners received a request from AGNC to join AGNC, Associated Governments Northwest Colorado, to sign on to an amicus brief on behalf of the counties. So before you have a letter to file on this amicus brief that's just for the right to consult with other counsel, for the engagement letter, again, in the behalf of Suncor Energy USA versus the County Commissioners of Boulder County et al. So this has been added to the agenda as it came before the board after the agenda was posted for this meeting. Under Commissioner Business, item number 4.
Okay, thank you. We'll add that to that. We'll approve the agenda with that one addition. Now is the time for constituent time. We have a sign-up sheet here for the people that have signed up that would like to speak to the board about any topics that they have. At 8:45 on our agenda is when we'll make the decision for the Hostetler planning item, and at that time we won't take public comment. We'll take the if you have any comments about that, we'll do it during constituents time. So far I only have 2 people that would like to speak during constituent time. So Scott Mitchell, and just need your name and address for the record, please.
Can you turn the volume up a little bit?
We'll do our best.
Thank you.
Good morning, Scott Mitchell, 40881 Highway 133, Ionia. And first off, gentlemen, thank you for the free dump day this past weekend. That was lovely. One point that I'd like to offer is perhaps a little more definition on appliances. I come from an appliance background, selling them for years and years, and I know a range and a microwave and things like that are appliance, but a swamp cooler, we were turned away for a couple of swamp coolers that we had, just FYI. Not a big deal. Took it back home and we'll deal with it. Additionally, I'd like to also talk to you about agritourism. I came up here, I don't know, a month or 2 ago and talked about agritourism in Ionia and how they're really embracing agritourism in their economy going forward. As you're well aware, the North Fork Valley lost all of their fruit this year. Every stitch of fruit is gone. I think it's an opportunity for you guys to perhaps bring back the agricultural exemption for development. And maybe this summer, maybe this fall, more farms can bring folks onto their ranches, onto their farms, and not have to go through a development process to do like stay at a farm, pick a fruit. I don't really know how it's going to look, But, our organization up in the North Fork was approved under the 2019 or 2017 agricultural exemption. So perhaps that could be a way to bolster the economy for the North Fork this year. And if it's not an agricultural exemption, this new type of thing is an astrotourism. You ever heard of that? We're a dark sky community up in Paonia, and people like to come and look at the stars because we can see them out here. Maybe an astrotourism exemption, but something to bolster the economy up in the North Fork, because without all that fruit, there's going to be a lot of people that are be hurting. Just an opinion. Thanks for all you guys do.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you. And each person will have 3 minutes and Brittany will have the timer. Next up, Lori Mitchell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioners, thank you. Lori Mitchell, 40881 Highway 133 in Paonia. I'm bringing a concern to you today. In the last BOA meeting, the Environmental Health Director, Samantha Trouble, mentioned that at this time, Delta County does not allow porta potties. So they're being required, the venue is being required to install a vault. Colorado law and CDPHE regulations do not prohibit porta potties for private event venues, businesses, or campgrounds. The regulations simply require adequate sanitation facilities. Vault toilets were designed for a completely different purpose. Unmanaged, high-volume public lands such as trailheads, national parks, roadside rest stops, and remote campgrounds. They are a permanent infrastructure solution for places with constant public use and no operational oversight. Private businesses operate differently. Attendance fluctuates dramatically. Porta potties scale responsibly with this reality. Businesses rent only what they need when they need it. They are professionally serviced, flexible, low impact, and achieve the same public health outcome. Flexibility. Porta potties are flexible. You can move them, remove them, or scale them for attendance. Vaults are permanent. It dictates guest flow and cannot be removed and permanently, alters our land. I was told that with our porta potties that we had to have the urinal and the sit down. So does that mean that a vault you'd have to have two because they only have one hole in the ground? Cost. Porta potties are low cost and they're easy to rent and clean out. And we're supporting businesses that are local to do this. And you can minimize odor with them. Vault toilets have to be engineered, and they range in price between $10,000 and $40,000 just to install one. And I would imagine here in this Rocky Mountains that it would take up to the higher number. Plus, think about some of your vault toilet experiences. The odor can be horrendous, and the flies are crazy in them. Vault is permanent with the concrete. What happens when the concrete cracks? Then you have a huge problem and another huge expense. The real distinction for this is managed private businesses with variable attendance. Porta potties are the logical solution. Unmanaged high volume public lands, vault toilets make sense. Asking small businesses, this economic backbone of rural Colorado, to permanently excavate costly fixed structures into their land when licensed portable sanitation already achieves the same public health outcome under Colorado law simply does not make sense. What message are we sending to entrepreneurs, ranchers, wineries, agritourism operations? That innovation and a small business growth will be met with unnecessary financial hardship. We all want safe, clean, professionally maintained sanitation. The goal is already being achieved. The question
We need you
is.
to summarize.
Oh, I am. This is the very last sentence. Thank you. And thank you for your time. The question is whether we choose practical, proportional solutions or create barriers that discourage people from building and investing here in Delta County. Thank you so much for your time.
Next person, Terry Todd. Would you like to speak?
I couldn't know if I wanted to speak.
Okay. Is there nobody else signed up to speak? Anybody else wants to speak during the constituent time? Anybody on the computer that would like to address the board? Okay, we'll close constituent time then. We'll go back to our agenda items. County Clerk Terry Stevenson.
Morning, Commissioners. This morning for your consideration, I have the minutes for the May 5th, 2026 Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. If you have any changes, deletions, or additions.
I have done.
Not seeing anything.
Thank you. For your consideration this morning, I also have a renewal of a Vintners Restaurant liquor license for DRM Holdings LTD, doing business as Mesa Wind Winery, located at 31262 L Road in Hotchkiss. I received all necessary documentation, fees, and notices have been published. I have also contacted the sheriff, and he has had no issues. Therefore, I would recommend the approval of this Vintners Restaurant liquor license.
I have no questions.
I'm not either.
I'll move that the board approve the renewal of a Vintners Restaurant liquor license for DRM Holdings, doing business as Mesa Winds Winder, located at 31262 L Road in Hotchkiss.
I will second the motion.
A motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, so done. Thank you.
And the last item I have this morning for you is your consideration for a possible appointment of an arbitrator for 2026. In your packet, you have a letter, a resume, and a biography for Joshua Wallet. Last year, he was also on our arbitrator list. He is definitely qualified for the position, and at this time, I would recommend him being appointed as arbitrator for Delta County.
And he was the arbitrator
He
last
was an
year.
arbitrator last year.
Okay.
And how often do we employ his services?
When needed, when somebody requests an arbitrator. We did have a request last year for an arbitrator.
I've got no further questions, so I will make a motion that we accept Joshua Wallet, the Delta County Arbitrator for 2026.
Second.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, so done. Thank you.
First item under Commissioner Business, Board's consideration and possible award of 2026 RFP 03 Comprehensive Gravel Pit and Permitted Services. County Engineer Tim McCracken, Public Works Director Scott Sheets, Road and Bridge Foreman District 3 John Allen are here to discuss.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This RFP went out bid opened in March. We had 3 bidders. The first bidder is American Environmental Consulting LLC out of Littleton, Colorado. Their fee was $64,960. Anticipated completion date is 6 months. Bidder number 2 is Civil Resources LLC out of Firestone, Colorado. Their bid was $133,000. Completion date April 1st, 2027. And bidder number 3 is Quandary Consulting LLC out of Rifle, Colorado. And their bid was $554,659. And their anticipated completion date is April 2028. Engineering department reviewed these bids. The reason Quandary, that I can tell that Quandary was so high, is they're proposing 15 boreholes and to convert 4 of those to monitoring wells. They also are proposing water rights and court for if we need any water rights and that kind of thing. And then a comprehensive baseline for those boreholes. Civil Resources included geotech at $38,000. They did not include a traffic study. And then American Environmental did not include geotech, and they did not include a traffic study. The 6 months completion under American Consulting, I feel is a little short. I think it'll take longer than that. a state permit's gonna take 6 months to a year, and then we're gonna have to permit it through the PC and the board. And that should take a minimum of 2 to 3 months, I would think. So, but I would recommend American Environmental Consulting. I did check some references. They have experience recently with Sedgwick County for permitting for gravel pits. So my recommendation to the board would be to choose American Environmental Consulting for $64,960. Do you have any questions?
Do we put a completion date?
They did not put one, but I talked to them and they said 6 months. So 6 months from the starting of the contract.
What about these test wells that bidder number 3 was including? Are they necessary or are they just a precaution? or-
Yeah, well, they
The
brought in
county-
RFP.
We did request that in the RFP. We've done our own digging out there. We dug 6 test holes out there, 25 feet deep. So we know what's out there.
Well, if you're comfortable with bidder number 1,
Might speak up into the mic.
if you're comfortable with bidder number 1, and you think that they can give you what the RFP encompassed, then I would make the motion that we go with bidder number 1 for American Environmental Consulting out of Littleton, Colorado, in the amount of $64,960.
I'll second.
Motion and second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done. Thank you. Thank you.
It's 8:45. Do you want to jump to planning?
Yeah, we can do that. It's 8:45 now. We'll come back to the other items under commissioner business. We'll turn it over to the planning department.
Or
On May 5th, the commissioners tabled the decision on 2548 Hofstetler in order to get a determination on 2 points of contention raised by Mr. Travis Jarden in public hearing regarding the legality of Upper Surface Creek Domestic Water Users Association's water rights to serve the proposed Bolton facility. Yesterday, on May 18th, Bob Herford, engineer for Water Division 4 of the Colorado Division of Water Resources, provided a letter in response to Mr. Travis Jarden's attorney, Frederick Ulrich. A copy of the letter has been provided to each of the commissioners for review. I will read the letter for the record. Regarding response to request to review Upper Surface Creek Domestic Water Users Association ability to serve proposed cage-free egg facility in Delta County. Dear Mr. Ulrich, I have reviewed the May 11, 2026 letter you sent to me via email on behalf of your client, Travis Jarden. I will attempt to address your 2 points of contention that Upper Surface Creek Domestic Water Users Association cannot use the water rights that it owns to legally serve the proposed subject facility in Delta County. As you may know by now, I have been communicating with Mr. Travis Jarden rather profusely and unsuccessfully regarding my conclusion that Upper Surface Creek Domestic Water Users Association may use its water rights, including ownership of shares, to serve the proposed commercial facility. First, you acknowledge that the imported water from Division 5 is decreed for municipal use, which includes commercial use. Upper Surface Creek Domestic Water Users Association owns shares in the storage water that is delivered from Division 5 into Division 4, and that water is measured from the Leon Lake Tunnel, released into Marcotte Creek, which flows into Surface Creek, and is then diverted and measured at the Upper Surface Creek Water Users Association point of diversion on Surface Creek and into their treatment facility. You appear to contend that this is not lawful because the association, not Leon Creek, is diverting, using and reusing the water. If this were true, then the entire Grand Mesa system of reservoirs and delivery of water to the users below could be considered unlawful. I do not object to Upper Surface Creek Domestic Water Users Association's use of its Leon Creek shares for municipal use in the same fashion that the association has done for many years. Secondly, you contend that the change case in CA 4634, which changed a portion of the Alfalfa Ditch irrigation water right to year-round domestic and stock watering uses, is not valid because the change case did not include an historical consumptive use analysis. The requirement to consider a consumptive use analysis came with the 1969 Water Rights Determination Act. The water rights change case in CA 4634 was made in 1959 and is consistent with scores of other very similar pre-1969 Act water rights change cases. The change of water rights is a valid decree, and I will not read or impose new terms and conditions on its operation. In summary, the position of this office is that we find no reason to object to the Upper Surface Creek Domestic Water Users Association providing service to the proposed project described in the Delta County Conditional Use Permit application PLN 25. I believe you meant the state PLN 2548. So with that letter read, the only other thing that we received as pertinent information was also an additional determination letter on May 14th from Division 4 Well Commissioner, Mr. Greg Powers, regarding the permitted uses of the wells on Mr. Hostetler's property. The letter was obtained as verification of a contingency plan for using the existing wells on the subject property as an alternative water source in the event that Upper Surface Creek was found to not be legally permitted to supply water to the commercial poultry operation. Commissioners have also been provided a copy of that letter, which states that either or both of the existing wells could be re-permitted to allow use for commercial animal feeding operation, and it prescribes the process for that re-permitting. Lastly, during the presentation, May 5th, I did not go over all the conditions of approval, and if the commissioners would like, I can go through that before you make your decision.
Please.
These are draft conditions of approval if the commissioners so choose to approve the development. Development of the Hostetler medium animal feeding operation conditional use permit shall be in accordance with the following conditions. Number one, the poultry facility shall adhere to the following approved management plans submitted by the developer. That includes the business plan, the site plan, odor management plan, manure and litter management plan, dust mitigation plan, noise mitigation plan, pest management plan, solid waste management plan, and truck routing plan. Number two, prior to construction, a professionally engineered drainage report shall be provided that demonstrates compliance with Chapter 4, Section 7B, stormwater management, grading, erosion, and sediment control, and any applicable state or federal standards for grading, erosion, and sediment control. Site construction shall follow the grading and controls provided in the drainage report. Number three, the existing access shall be improved to meet commercial access standards per the 2005 Delta County Roadway Design and Construction Standards and approved by Delta County Engineer. Number four, the poultry facility shall obtain an address from the county GIS. Number five, the poultry facility shall obtain a final approval on an engineered on-site wastewater treatment system permit from Delta County Environmental Health. Number six, the poultry facility shall obtain a CDA certificate of compliance for cage-free egg producers. Number seven, on-site burial of spent hens will require approval from Delta County Environmental Health according to 8 CCR 1202-13. Any use of an incinerator to incinerate mortalities on the farm will require a permit from CDPHE according to the regulation cited. Number 9, outdoor lighting shall be hooded or shielded, cut off so as to not cast light or glare onto adjacent properties or upwards in a manner that dilutes the night sky. Number 10, the poultry barn shall have a cement floor to reduce atmospheric pollutants blown out of the barn ventilation system. Number 11, proof from a qualified engineer that a semi-tractor trailer can safely use the entire length of paint siding road without crossing into the oncoming traffic lane. Or paint siding road may not be used as a truck route. Number 12, a pre-construction site survey shall be provided that ensures the facility envelope is located to meet all setback requirements. And number 13, the permittee shall develop and implement a written standard operating procedure for the storage, transportation, and land application of manure and litter that must be submitted and approved by the planning director to ensure the protection of state waters. Lastly, any significant modification to this conditional use permit shall require an amendment to be considered by the Planning Commission and Board of County Commission.
Thank you.
I can restate the recommendations if you'd like to.
I think we'd like to hear it.
Okay.
You'll recall that there is a decision for the commissioners to make about whether to grant the allowed 50% reduction to setbacks. And if the commissioners find that the proposed development or is granted the 50% setback, then that the proposed development then find that PLN 2548 Hostetler complies with Delta County Master Plan and the Land Use Code for a conditional use permit for a medium animal feeding operation for a chicken facility housing 20,000 laying hens in an 835 zoning district. And 2, approve PLN 2548 Hostetler conditional use permit for a medium animal feeding operation, subject to applicable conditions, and authorize the director to draft a resolution and the chair to sign.
Setbacks. Thank you. And the board's decision will be based on the setbacks, and it's what we have to decide on now.
The board's decision is based on the entirety of everything. Setbacks is one of your issues.
Yep. Don is, the applicant provided all the 13 conditional use requirements.
Has the applicant already provided
Yes.
the conditions?
Yes.
No, the conditions are being met in the
Before.
implementation if it were approved. Some of the conditions cited in the management plan fall provide about this.
Well, we tabled this 2 weeks ago because we felt like we needed some more clarification on the water in particular. And I think we have that answer before us today. I have no further questions or comments.
Again, gentlemen, a very difficult decision in front of us, but all of the data indicates that this is an acceptable use for this property. I'll make the motion that we approve PLN 25048 conditional use permit for a medium animal feeding operation, including the variance for setback.
Would you like to modify that to be a modification of the setback rather than a variance? Is that a point of clarification?
I don't think that the term variance is used in that section.
Okay, a modification of the setback.
In that case, I will second that motion with modification.
Motion and second on the floor before the board. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. So done. Thank you.
Can we take a 5-minute break?
We'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll reconvene. Okay, we'll come back on the record. And we'll continue with board's consideration and possible award for final bid tally 2026 RFP -20 asphalt product purchase. Mr. John Allen from District 3. Thanks for being here today.
Morning. Good morning. So on this particular RFP, we had one bidder. So probably not a whole lot of discussion. Suncor Energy, which is a typical bidder, they simply missed the deadline for the original RFP, which is a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, prices have changed a little bit in the last little bit. So overall, the RFP is down significantly from prices from last year. But it's up about $80 a ton from what it was a month ago. So this is where we're at. And they're willing to hold this price for 7 months. So that will, that should take us through our construction season, unless we get really long with it. So we'll try to keep it as short as we can, but, so like, unless there's any questions regarding any of that.
John, I see it's FOB Grand Junction. Is that typical?
Okay, so there are a couple different things. The top one there, the SS1,
Yeah,
that is FOB Grand Junction. That would be the tack oil we use that we put down on asphalt, old asphalt when we're gonna do an overlay. So we do go to Grand Junction and pick that up. We only use 1,200 gallons of that a year. So we're actually asking, it's all in one bid, but there are two different products being bid. The SS1 is one of them, and then the PG 5828, and then PG 5828 with 3% anti-strip, which is the one we typically use. And then PG 5828 with 0.5% anti-strip. We consistently have them bid the three different types of PG 5828, even though we typically only use one. We never know when we have some other project come up that might require through the state or through somebody else a little different type of oil. So
which is your most commonly used product?
that would be line item number 4, PG 5828 with 0.3% anti-strip.
Okay.
And so that is the number that affects our budget for the most part going through the year. And that comes out to about 570 a ton. Which like I said, is up about $80 from what it was a month ago, but it's down, I think it was about $150 a ton from what we paid last year. So,
So this is well within budget.
yes.
Okay. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I'll move the board approve Suncor Energy as the bidder for RFP 2026-20. For SS1, it'd be $11,040 FOB Grand Junction, and the three other products, PG 5828 and then PG 5828.3 anti-strip and 0.5 anti-strip. So line item 3, PG 5828, $462,000 as needed. PG 5828 with 0.3 anti-strip at $478,800 as needed. And PG 5828.5 anti-strip at $487,200 as needed.
Good. I'll go second the motion.
Motion second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 'Cause
Next for your consideration is the appointment of Amber Medina to the RETAC board. The RETAC board is the board that takes state funds, local user fee generated funds, provides grants back to basically hospitals, ambulance districts, other healthcare entities. Kirby Flock serves as your appointee, but you also have an additional appointment for an individual from the hospital. The hospital has indicated that Jacqueline J. Trujillo hyphen Johnson has stepped down. Amber Medina has taken her place for the trauma coordinator at the Delta Hospital. And so Delta Hospital is recommending, Delta Health is recommending that Amber replace Jacqueline on the RETAC board. Term is 3 years. She will finish out the term for Jacqueline, and so it would be January 31st. There was 2 more years, so that would be 2028.
Okay. I will make the motion that we approve the hospital's recommendation to appoint Amber Medina to replace Jacqueline Trujillo Johnson on the RETAC board till January 2028, the end of that term.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done.
Okay, then moving to item number 4. This is the item that coming in to the Board of County Commissioners after the agenda was posted. AGNC, Associated Governments of Northwest Colorado, of which Delta County is a member of, is asking counties in Western Colorado to join them in filing an amicus brief on behalf of not only AGNC, but the other counties, including Delta County, for Suncor Energy USA versus county commissioners of Boulder County. And this will be the amicus brief. This is the right to consult with other counsel. And this is the engagement letter, including disclosing any potential conflicts, and for the chair to sign.
See you covered.
Is there a dollar amount they're requesting to join this?
So the information I have, at this point, they're not talking about that. That's not to say that conversation won't happen. But at this point, they're with an extremely short time. So they're asking the county's commitment to engage. And they're also asking for just for some kind of county interest bullet points, that sort of thing. But in all likelihood, there'll be a follow-up conversation about county's financial participation.
If you'd like to include an up to dollar amount in your motion, or do you want to address that if it does come back as an item?
Oh, we've been listening in for a couple of weeks now, and the numbers have been floating around from 5,000 to maybe as high as 10,000 per member, depending on how many people join in. So I would have no issues with those kind of numbers. That maybe the $10,000 would be a cap, hoping it would be more like 7,500 or 5,000. But that's just one person's opinion.
My recommendation would be to, you can set a cap if you want. I have to be a little careful what I'm saying here. I don't know that there's that much of a gap in these numbers between the projected legal costs for this and what's already been committed. But that's unknown at this point.
I'd rather wait and see what the number is.
Same here.
rather than just picking a number.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I'm good with that.
Well, I'm gonna move that the board approve and ratify the chairman's signature on the
Just authorize the chair to sign.
authorized chair to sign the agreement with Lahotsky Keller Cone LLP in regards to an amicus brief on behalf of Suncor Energy versus County Commissioners of Boulder County. For an amicus brief to be presented.
Is the city of Boulder also included in that? Do they
It just
need to
says
be-
county here.
It is.
Is that necessary?
Understanding it's the city is, but the title of the case is
Okay.
County Commissioner of Boulder County et al., which just means all.
I will second the motion.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye. So done. Thank you.
Clean that up and put our heading. You already, well, you already did.
Right, next under information is a jail report.
For Sunday, May 3rd, 2026, Delta County Detention Facility Population Count Report, male inmates, County Jail 30, female inmates, County Jail 8, for a total of 38. Average daily inmate population for the week of 4/27/26 through 5/3/26 was 45.48. Next up is Human Services at 9:30. So we'll stand adjourned until 9:30. Thank you.
You gonna get a postcard from the European travelers?
No, but I've gotten lots of pictures and some text messages. Yep. Looks like a lot of fun.
Notice that she was not gonna send a postcard. We'll probably get here at the end of July. She's home.
She'd already be back.
Well, 9:30, we'll come back on the record and Human Services, Annie Gallegos and crew, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Morning.
This month is unique because we get Tatiana to start with the financials instead of Nicole. But we do have a plan that if there are any questions that Tatiana can't answer, she will write them down and we will bring them back next month.
Nicole's not on Zoom?
She's what?
Not on Zoom?
She is not.
Okay.
I don't know what time it is there?
Yeah, that's
We
could
have to
be,
Google that.
they're probably still up anyway.
That is true.
We should call her, right?
Could be fun. Great caller.
Leona told me when the app went into overtime and won, she actually got up early, 3 in the morning, turned the radio.
Jeez.
That's dedication.
For education, yes.
So in our payment approval report, the only thing that's kind of out of the norm is supplies that we bought for the fair. Also the homestead meats, which is the hot dogs for the fair that we bought. And we made a 50% payment to Scottish Window Stamping, which is the windows that we're getting done over eligibility and child welfare. They did came on 5/13 and they got almost 50% of them done. So they should be coming down hopefully next month to finish the other windows. That was the only thing that was out of the norm on this payment report. Our extended expenses, we are at 26.75% for March, and we should have been at 25%. But mostly it's still because we're still trying to compensate from the payments we made to the workman's comp and liability insurance.
Got to even out.
Mhm. And lastly, for LEAP, we got taking application from April 30th. Now, we ended up with a total of 1,373 applications. Out of those applications, only 1,086 were approved. We still have 19 applications pending. And we had 268 denials, which it was due to clients not turning in all the information that was needed. Well, at this point, I am reaching out to them to see if I can get those additional information so I can get their pieces approved.
Thanks for following up on that. Is it quite a few pages they had to fill out, or just like 2 or 3? Or?
So the application itself is about 3 pages, which basically just asks for like the regular information, income information. And mostly those denials are because they don't turn in income information. So a lot of the denials that I've seen is because they miss some pay stubs, and the thing is they only ask for like 1 month of income, and sometimes by them just missing one statement, one pay stub, they'll get denied.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you, Tatiana. Okay, so next action items we have is, first off is our TANF contract. So this contract is one that we've routinely signed every 3 years or so. However, this is one that they are going through and looking at the allocation. They're trying to modify that. They've been looking at floors. They've been looking at different options because we know the TANF allocation has struggled, and most counties would be overspent with it as well. And so, of course, as the state loves now, all of the contracts will come through DocuSign. So it will have the email for you to sign. However, it does describe the maximum amount as $0 for the contract because they have not established the allocation yet. Once they do that, we'll be bringing it back to the board to inform you of the actual numbers. I don't anticipate ours to fluctuate too much. We're pretty consistent in our spending and what we use it for and how we use it. Some counties may see some big swings depending on whether there's a floor 10% or 15%, but most allocations most recently have been voted at a 0% floor.
On the DocuSign, will all 3 of us have to do the DocuSign?
Nope, just you.
Okay.
Lucky.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
So when do you think that decision will be made on allocation?
They will have the WAC allocation committee this month, and then it'll be established by June.
Okay.
So, it'll be voted on.
Is that the last allocation decision this group has to make?
So yes and no. So CWAC is also going to be voted on during June. There's a few, 3 different options with floors also for the child welfare allocation. Once that one doesn't have a contract though, TANF does. So you won't have to sign off onto the contract. TANF is just set up and structured in that way differently. But once the WAC and CWAC happen it's those Monday meetings for CCI.
Okay.
Yep. And so we'll be in Keystone for that.
Okay.
So, and once those are voted on, then we can inform the board of what it looks like, and they might resend something out, but the original contract that is to be signed has the $0 amount, because we just don't know yet. Anything you want to add to that?
They did restructure or redo the accounting codes for TANF, which will be interesting. Went from, I don't know what, couple of pages to probably like 5 pages, but
Yeah.
So they did break those down quite a bit. So that'll be interesting to see how that's gonna work out for this next year's allocation.
Why'd they do that, Lori?
To better break it down between admin costs and actual benefit costs, or allocation spent on benefits, supportive services, and then the actual admin. So it was kind of Fund 51, county admin. And so now they're redefining each one of those separately and adding additional coding to track that.
And I think part of it also has to do with the fiscal MEs that are occurring. We'll talk about that as another action item here, but the other piece is that, you know, with HR1 and just the different coding and tracking and costs, they're just needing to purse those out a little bit more than they have. So just more work on the admin side. But it doesn't change the day-to-day operations or anything like that. None of that changes for those staff. It's just coding differently.
So do we need to vote on this one?
Yeah.
I'll move the board approve and authorize chair to sign the TANF MOU for state fiscal year 2026, 2027. Note that these contracts are for a $0 amount, which will be determined at the CCI meeting in June.
I'll second that. I'll second the motion.
Motion and second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. So done. Thank you.
Thank you. The contract will come to me first, I believe, to sign, and then as soon as I do, then it goes to you as
Okay.
the official signer. So I will let them know. The next item is our HICPUF management review final report. So once we receive that, we are required to bring those findings to the board for discussion and let you know what those. We had a few. So they go through the process in 2025 and they have some audit findings, and then we have a cure period. And during that cure period, we're able to submit anything that they identified as needing follow-up or needed more explanation, or we were missing something. For example, one of our cures was a poster. They needed it to be in a certain place in the front, by the front desk of the North Fork Annex. So we had to hang it, take a picture and send it, right? So some of those types of things are easy. Others are more technical. And so during the cures, we did hold technical assistance meetings with them to go through some of the fiscal analysis. What has been determined is there are two findings that we have left to resolve this month, and they're both related to fiscal auditing. However, we still disagree with the way that the audit findings have been displayed, along with many other counties. And so I did draft a letter within the last couple of weeks related to this as a part of some discussions internally with fiscal county finance about the misunderstanding of the allocation methodologies that the state has regards to counties. So we have this letter. And we're going to escalate it through the Colorado Human Services Directors Association. Adams County and Weld County also have had discussions that this is a priority for them as well. Counties have been doing the same audit process within our financial and fiscal auditing and just the processing of our the way we look at our allocations, and has never had an issue. It is an interpretation that we believe that the state has determined that they are not doing correctly. So no counties are receiving any fiscal sanctions or anything like that, which is good. But they are just determining that even their training manual is incorrect. And so I think there's some issues that we need to make sure to address and hold the state accountable for. So we are going to work through CHSDA to eventually bring that to CCI because we're not the only county experiencing that. And we want to ensure that, we know our fiscal process is in line with all other counties and the expectations of the federal and state rules currently. So, yes.
Is this an attempt by the state to claw back funds?
Because they're not coming after any funding, I would say no, but it sounds like on their end, yes. It sounds to me that that they went through an audit and their belief of how they're interpreting the fiscal analysis is that they've done it wrong. And so they're passing that on to counties. However, counties are looking at the rule that that the feds have said this is how it needs to be, and I think we think it's the misinterpretation on the state level. And that we are in line with the federal expectations and rules and guidelines, and so it would be different if it was just our county that was experiencing it, but it's multiple counties, and so counties are finding this out after 3 and 5 year rotations. So this isn't like a yearly audit, and so the audit takes a total of like 6 to 8 months once it's finally completed. And so you have counties that don't even know that this is coming yet. And so that's the conversations also that we're having, because some of our Southwest regions are now just starting it, and they're going to be in that same boat. So we're really trying to bring this to the radar of the counties that have gone through it. And so hopefully kind of get ahead of the other counties to not have to go through the same thing, but that's kind of where we're at with it. So there's the update of the final report. I will keep you updated with regards to the letter. We plan on speaking about it at our next exec meeting in July.
How can this board support you?
I think once we started with this letter from Delta County, we'll be bringing it to CHSDA for exec to look at that. Once it gets the support of the whole association, we'll then be bringing it to CCI. So then the board, if we had your support in that letter, once it got to that phase, I think would be the important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work you're doing right there.
It's an interesting, and I think it's really frustrating for financial folks, right? So looking at, Nicole and Leona's roles and how they have done business and done our fiscal analysis so well for so many years, to have the state agencies kind of questioning those pieces for multiple counties is frustrating. Because as counties, we align in our processes so that we are all doing the same things and following the same rules. And so that collaboration has been respected over the years. And I think this is frustrating. So.
And especially where we've been audited every year.
And done completely fine.
Right.
Had no issues or findings. So, yeah. Yep.
I'm starting to see a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Every single department is, the level of frustration with this state level is just, it's like a daily update.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the department is. So you guys are just in the mix, just like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, and our last ME was management evaluation was, I believe, like 2021, 2022, same processing, no issues whatsoever. So 4 years later, here we go.
Well, and we've been audited by every program so far, and coming up in June, July, we're going through our SNAP ME review. So yeah, this year has hit us hard, and it's going to hit every 3 years with each program. So the next 3 years will be again the cycle of all of our programs being audited again.
And when I look at the questionnaire for the ME, it was like 700 questions they had to answer.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
700.
700.
And we had to develop policies, we had to develop procedures, we had to,
A lot.
a lot.
So. Yep.
Okay. Thanks for all you do.
We appreciate it. We'll escalate it and we'll defend it because we're doing the right things,
Right.
we believe. So.
Exactly.
So now on to happier news. Let's do that. So CCAP, they are currently doing a rule rewrite, policy updates. We know that CCAP has struggled with the allocation and the projections. And so they're trying to look at ways in order for counties to not overspend their allocations. And some of that may include shifting of allocation money and how counties can participate in that easier and better in order to ensure for counties that underspend to counties that overspend, how as a state we can help balance the state counties and the state not overspend as a whole. So they're working through some of those things right now. Eligibility, pretty excited. We are very grateful for staff. Our CSTAT numbers for April, we met all targets with all categories at 98% and above, even higher than the 95%. So usually we always make the 95, but to go 98 and all, very exciting. So big congratulations to them and very grateful for that. We have our Hickpuff County Outreach Grant Project. We have a presentation coming. I'm sure Lori's really excited to put together the year-end presentation, but that allowed us some funding to use in overtime to go out to the hospital or long-term care facilities, Abraham Connection, Riverbend Resource, and outreach our folks that struggle to access public benefits. For example, they may turn in an application, but we may need more information or verifications from them, and tracking them down could be difficult, or following up with that. And so we've been able to have staff go out into those places and provide those services and keep folks covered in care. So that's been helpful. And then we did have some technicians leave, and so we did receive applications, and so we have hired on a few new staff, and so we are working through training and all of those things. Part of the training that they're going to be doing now is going to change with some of the HR1 changes that are rolling out, and so we're going to have some transitions there within our internal training and external training from the state, and so we're hoping we'll have good guidance outlined. But we'll see, because some of that will be dependent on what the state rolls out in guidance for us. Anything else you want to talk about for your crew?
Yeah, I think that's it. They're doing amazing. They're dedicated. They're a good crew.
Great.
Alrighty, next up, with regards to child welfare, we have Melissa Zunich sitting next to me here. So you've probably seen her in many different ways and at the fair and seen her in the office, but she is the new Adult and Family Services Administrator. She has been the assessment supervisor for the last couple of years for Delta County. And we're pretty excited for this change in leadership. And so we've already seen some pieces with our CSTAT and some of our just the way that we're tracking things and coding things change. And that has been a big morale boost for staff who is saying, hey, I feel like I'm meeting my marks here. Why is the data not reflecting it? And so she's already, jumped in and done some digging into it and fixed those things. And staff is feeling pretty amazing of like, I knew I was doing it right, and so that has been really comforting, I think, from a leadership role for them. And then we had the fair. And so that was really a great time, much cooler in that grass. I think we increased providers and we increased families that came, got a lot of access to resources. Thank you guys for the proclamation and for coming, and Dare to Care Award went to Families Plus. I think was pretty exciting as well. And so I think we'll continue to grow that. But if you want to talk a little bit about your goals for the unit and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. I think like Annie had mentioned, the biggest goal of the unit is increasing our CSAT performance, because like she had said, a lot of staff is expressing that they felt like they were meeting those goals and they were understanding how the stats were not reflecting their work. And after digging into it, there's a lot of things that are on the backside with RUM and trails that are just not really working like they're supposed to be. So I've been working with the state to get that taken care of, and we're already seeing the numbers go up. Like we had one caseworker specifically who hasn't made her CSAT goals for I think like 8+ months. And after one day of working with the state, she met for the next month. So we're already seeing improvements there. So I think that's the biggest goal. And like Annie said, it's already increasing staff morale, and they're feeling better about seeing their work actually translate into those statistics with the state. So we're excited for that. We've filled our 3 caseworker positions. We had one actually start today, and then the next one will start in 2 weeks. So we'll be fully staffed for caseworkers. Still looking for a case aide, but yeah, that's all looking good. So we're excited for that.
I think one of the great benefits in the last couple of months with this time of where we had our turnover was the leadership staff did go to the job fair at CMU. And so most of those applicants came to us as graduating in May, and then starting I think one just started, and then one will start June 1.
Yep.
And so we were able to capture just staff come right out of graduation.
So congratulations in your new role.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Annie spoke very highly of this team for a long time, so it shows.
Yeah, we're gonna do great. And then adult protection is just hanging in, same numbers right now. We haven't really increased too many cases, but we've been holding steady with referrals, and we still have our 2 guardianships closing and opening in the same, usually the same numbers, but we are wondering if we'll anticipate some of that with Riverbend now opening as Abraham closed. If sometimes we had seen an uptick in referrals, we may or may not see that with them being open. So we'll keep you updated on that, but they're steady, rolling steady right now. And we're anticipating a couple months for one of the caseworkers to not be here and available. And so we have gotten some assistance from the other 2 surrounding counties that will help out as needed for whether assignment or doing some red teaming and things like that to help us during that planned time for that individual to be gone. So it's a nice thing about neighboring counties. They help us out.
On adult protective services, what age do they become classified as an adult?
At 18.
18.
So anything, any individual 18 and older with, whether it's any type of at-risk quality. So if they meet the at-risk definition or depending, on their cognitive abilities, things like that, all those play in to meet that definition, which sometimes is difficult that individuals may feel like someone is at risk, but it doesn't meet the state's definition. And so sometimes that's a little difficult to walk through. But when that does happen, we do provide resources and access to different things of where they can get assistance for those individuals other than us.
Okay.
Annie, under the child support collections last month, this month, there's $100,000 differential spread between the state and wage withholding and IRS. That's a huge differential.
I would bet that that's partially could be part with taxes and things like that. So are you thinking about from which month to which month?
Well, this month, April, last month, March.
From the state withholding?
Well, there's a number of categories.
Total one. Yeah, the only thing that I know of, the IRS got significantly more in the IRS tax intercept in March than they did April. So that's about a $30,000 difference. And then March did have some issues with their collection monitoring online payment piece. And so that was down for a little bit. So that could have triggered some to go into the next month versus to go into April instead of March. For those other methods piece that could be there. And then March also had the state tax and then wage withholding. Yeah, there's quite a bit in March than there is in April. And so not sure other than that lovely month of March.
I didn't know if there was an event that happened or.
No, I don't think so. We could look at probably last year's and see if that's
See if there's
like
any
to that.
trending here is what I was concerned.
Yep, I can find that out.
Yeah.
Yep. And then also you probably have seen in the news, there's the piece now about if you have over $100,000 in arrears, there's the piece with the passports. So they are now denying passports and things like that for individuals that have certain amount in arrears. So that's happening nationwide. And so we've seen a lot of correspondence about that. And we do have several individuals that have over $100,000 in arrears. So it will impact a few for our county.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions for us?
No, just pass on doing a great job, all your crew. Thank you very much for your dedication.
We sure will. And thank you for the event and coming to the fair. I know that staff from all units got to participate and have booths out there. And so it was nice to be there. And we appreciate your support, and we'll have another food event coming up in July. So we'll let you know.
Thank you.
And congratulations, Melissa.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gave it back to Tatiana.
You know, by Patrick.
Patrick?
It's not.
Oh,
So we'll have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have planning at 10 o'clock. We'll take a 5-minute recess. 4-minute recess.
But hey, you can power there. Take advantage of it.
So I just sent you a note from saying that was your mistake.
It's not hard.
Where's 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock, we'll come back on the record, and up next is planning.
We have two projects on the agenda this morning. One is PLN 25071 Trademark LLC. This is before the board to consider the acceptance of a final plat, subdividing approximately 9.55 acres, creating a subdivision with 5 buildable lots in the Res 1 zoning district. On the screen is a copy of the lots. Lot 1 is 1.82 acres, lot 2, 1.82, lot 3, 1.76, lot 4, 2.02 acres, and lot 5, 2.05, and there is 8/100ths of an acre of road dedication on 2325 road. The application was presented to the board on June 17th last year, and the board held and voted to conditionally approve the application subject to 15 conditions. So I'll go through the 15 conditions and explain how they've all been met. The first condition was that the approved preliminary plat creating 5 lots shall be would expire, and the plat is considered vacated if the final plat is not submitted within 12 months from the date of the preliminary plat approval by the board. So the preliminary plat was approved on June 17th, 2025, and the final plat was submitted on May 8th, 2026, within 12 months. Condition number 2, all existing and proposed easements and encumbrances, including but not limited to existing and proposed utility easements, shared access, and water delivery shall be shown on the final plat. Staff finds that all easements, existing and proposed, as well as all encumbrances, have been illustrated on the final plat. An updated title report was also confirmed, that there are no lien holders on the property. Condition number 3, proof of adequacy of water supply is required for preliminary plats, and also all water sources, springs or wells within the subject property shall be listed on the final plat prior to reporting. And on-site wastewater treatment system permits will need to be applied for once the lots are all developed. Our finding is that the town of Orchard City provided confirmation that domestic water taps have been installed for all lots in the subdivision. And the Orchard City water account numbers are all shown on the final plat for each lot. Condition number 4, access permits shall be issued for each lot within the subdivision. Said permits shall be completed and issued prior to final plat approval. County engineering has issued approved access documentation for all lots and for Sunny Court coming off of 2325 road. All the access permits were attached in the document as well. Condition number 5, a maintenance agreement shall be provided for ongoing maintenance, right-of-way mowing, and snow removal at the expense of the owners of the lots in the subdivision. The maintenance agreement shall be recorded in the chain of title of the affected properties. Elk Ridge subdivision, that's the name of the subdivision, and a maintenance agreement for Sunny Court has been provided and will be recorded with the final plat. Condition number 6, a fire hydrant shall be installed at the intersection of 2325 road and the new access road to the subdivision. And another shall be installed at the end of the cul-de-sac area accessible by truck. One additional fire hydrant has been installed at the intersection of 2325 road in Sunny Court. Photos are attached. Number 7, no structures on lot 4 shall impede on the irrigation easement running through that lot. The irrigation line that ran through lot 4 of the Elk Ridge subdivision and into lot 1 of the Biscuit Minor subdivision to the west is being moved to run down the eastern side of Lot 5 and across the southern boundary of lots 4 and 5 of the Elk Ridge subdivision into Lot 1 of the Biscuit Minor subdivision, shown on the final plat, the attached exhibit A of the pipeline easement detail. Condition 8, the applicant shall follow the fencing, trap containers, and pet control recommendations of Colorado Parks and Wildlife to avoid conflicts with wildlife. This conditions to be met in future development. Condition 9, a traffic impact study shall be completed. Traffic impact studies shall include at a minimum the information required by Table 5A, traffic impact study scope based on the level of study required. Said level shall be determined by county engineering. A level 1 traffic impact study was required by county engineering and conducted. It was conducted to the county engineer's satisfaction. The study and the comments were attached in the packet. Condition 10, prior to the recording of the final plat, the plat must include a plat note explaining rights to irrigation water. Final plat must also include the number of shares for each lot. On September 16th, the commissioners held a public hearing to consider an amendment to finding number 5 of resolution 2025 R20 in response to a letter from the president of Boyd Ditch explaining that the developer's 1 share of Circus Creek water cannot be divided to 5 lots. The board approved the amendment to finding 5 to read no shares of irrigation water will be distributed among the 5 proposed lots, therefore no irrigation plan is required. Condition number 11, prior to accepting a final plat, the applicant shall provide deeds with a legal description of each lot with notarized signatures to be recorded with the final plat. Copies of the quitclaim deeds for each new lot for the right-of-way dedication along 2325 road have been provided. Condition 12, the final plat shall include all standard plat notes required by the 24 land use code. All standard plat notes are included in the final plat. Condition 13, the applicant shall pay the public sites open space fee of $300 per lot for an increase of 4 lots, total of $1,200. The open space fees for the project shall be paid in full prior to recording the final plat. Those fees have been paid. Condition 14, prior to final plat approval, the applicant shall enter into a pre-annexation agreement with the town of Cedar Ridge. This agreement shall be reviewed and approved by the town and shall be recorded with the Delta County Clerk and Recorder. A reference to the recorded pre-annexation agreement shall be clearly noted on the final plat. A utility connection and annexation agreement between Trademark and the town of Cedar Ridge pertaining to the subject property was recorded on May 5th. Condition 15, prior to final plat approval, the applicant shall enter a written agreement with Stevens and Linder and Boyd Ditch Companies for the relocation and or protection of underground lines, head gates, and easements. The developer worked with both ditch companies and relocated their underground lines and easements to their satisfaction. Letters of compliance from both ditch companies were attached for confirmation. So based on the information contained and the staff report provided, staff is recommending that the commissioners accept the quitclaim deed with a legal description dedicating right-of-way corresponding with the existing 2325 road, the 8/100ths of an acre within the subject parcel to Delta County for public right-of-way. 2, accept the final plat for PLN 2471 Trademark Elk Ridge subdivision. And 3, authorize the chair to sign the final plat.
Is there, Jim, would you like to address anything else that had come up or?
No. Have anything?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So number 6 says a fire hydrant shall be installed at the intersection of the 2325 and the access road, and another shall be installed at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, they're both there. I have pictures of both. I misstated that it was just one, but it's both. They're there. They can check them out.
Thank you.
Okay.
This applicant has really gone above and beyond to meet all these conditions.
Yes.
quite the list, so
Oh.
congratulations for getting there. I have no further questions.
Okay. So there'd be
So-
three things: accept the quick claim deed, accept the final plat, and the chair decide.
Clear down at the bottom and everything. Okay, I will make the motion that we accept a quick claim deed with legal description dedicating right of way corresponding with the existing 2325 road in the amount of 0.08 acres to Delta County for public right of way, and accept the final plat for PLM 24071 trademark Elk subdivision. And lastly, authorize the chair to sign the final plat.
Second.
Motion and second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye, so done. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Okay. And I'll sign those after the meeting. Okay.
So you got another one?
Yep.
Yes.
We're ready.
All right, you guys ready? Good morning, commissioners. For you today is a dedication. It is PLN 25-054 Buzzle. This is a dedication of a portion of Alkali Basin Road. As you can see on the plat, the road splits right through the middle of the property, going from north to south. The amount of area encompassed in that road is approximately 1.95 acres. The property owners have agreed to dedicate that portion of Alkali Basin Road to the county. And by doing so, the road does run through the property from south to north. The dedication would end up creating two parcels. Once the dedication is accepted, the parcels would be on either side, east and west of the roadway. At this point in time, the plat has been completed and the deeds are also completed for this proposed dedication. Upon your acceptance, staff recommends the Board of County Commissioners accept the warranty deed and legal description of the right of way, and also authorize the chair to sign the exemption plat and adopt the resolution for the right of way. This is a fairly straightforward, easy peasy.
is the applicant here, Mr. Buzzell?
It's online.
Yes, we're here.
Just want to confirm that you understand you're dedicating, what was it, 1.8 acres to Delta County for the right of way?
Yep.
Yep.
Understood.
Do you have anything else to add or any other questions?
Well, thanks for the support the county has provided in helping us clean up this area. This area was pretty run down and full of encampments, and we've spent a lot of time and money and had a lot of support, and appreciate that, especially from Everett, to get this place back to the way I think it should have been. It's kind of still a process, but with the support, appreciate that. So we have a cleaned up area. I don't know if you've been up here recently, but you might take a drive.
Couple of things, Everett. It might be good to reference the plat in the resolution. In other words, if the plat's going to be recorded prior to the resolution, it may be good to add that language. The plat is recorded at a certain reception number. You already have that language in reference to the singular deed, it looks like. That is the road area that is deeded to Delta County, and that's fine. I guess I would just recommend adding that language. And then the only other thing I would throw out there is that it doesn't appear that the deeds for parcel, I don't know if they're A or B or 1 or 2, whatever they are, it doesn't appear that those are in the packet. So I want to make sure that you have those.
I apologize, I do have those with me.
So John, because this does include a resolution that is going to be modified.
I think you just state on the record that it'll make a reference to the recording.
Should we do this in 2 motions though? One, the warranty deed and the exemption plat, and then resolution.
You can, it's really all wrapped up together, and that's kind of the purpose to, I think, to authorizing the resolution and the exemption,
And this
and
is
signature on the plan.
number 9.
I think the way we have it, authorize the director to draft the resolution.
There's a resolution in here.
I know, but we'll draft it. We need to make a change to it.
One.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Nothing else.
I will make the motion that the board accept the general warranty deed with the legal description dedicating a right-of-way corresponding with the existing Alkali Basin Road, approximately 1.95 acres within the subject parcel to Delta County for the public right-of-way, and authorize the chair to sign the exemption plat, and also adopt resolution 2026 R09 for the right-of-way, which will be modified with the reception number.
I will second the motion.
Motion is second on the floor. Any further discussion?
I have a question. Will Hostetler then be R10?
Yep.
Resolution R 2026 R10. I'm sorry to interject that, but I just wanted to, that it's not R8.
Right.
Okay.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, so done. Thank you very much. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll go ahead and sign those documents. Then next up, be county attorney at 10:30.
I think the planning is going to update that resolution with a little bit more information.
Okay.
You need to sign that, right?
Okay.
I'll have a Hostetler and trademark resolution, or I mean, puzzle resolution ready for you after you're all done here this morning.
Oh,
We
okay.
just have some.
Okay.
But we have the final plat here. I'll just prepare everything and have it ready for you.
That's fine. Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay. Good luck. Thank you. Do you want to recess or keep on going?
Public matters, so I don't think it'd be appropriate to call them.
Okay.
See, if you did that.
Okay. We'll recess until 10:30. Okay, we are ready. Welcome back. It's 10:30. We'll come back on the record, and County Attorney John Bear's got a couple items.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning. 2 matters under regular session and 1 under executive session. The first under the regular session is the board's consideration of an assignment of lease at Lakefield Airport for hangar number 192. This is from Molehouse to Air Arizona Incorporated. This is a pretty straightforward, typical lease that we see. This is assignment, as I indicated, from Mr. Molehouse to Air Arizona Incorporated. You have the signed assignment in front of you. I don't see anything out of the ordinary on this, so I would recommend that the board approve that lease. Any questions, happy to answer those.
John, what is the difference between a assignment of lease and a consideration of airport ground lease? On the second.
So a ground lease is when basically, this is a little bit of an oversimplification, but when we're building a new one. When somebody's building a new lease, a new hangar becomes a lease, sometimes we'll redo a lease at the end of 25 years or something like that as well, okay? But typically, the vast majority are assignments, so the lease just kind of continues with that building as it gets, we don't typically do a new lease, unless there's really a reason for that. Sometimes when we get close to the end of the 25 years, we're within a year or two, we don't want to be pulling this back up in another year. We'll go ahead and try to get the new lease in place. But in this situation, the two you have in front of you today, one is an assignment that's been in, the original lease was dated in 2007. So we're 19 years into that. We're just gonna assign that and that's what the other one is a proposed new hangar.
Hangar 339 is not necessarily a building yet.
Hangar 339 is dirt.
Okay.
So.
There you go. You nailed it. I'll make a motion that we approve the assignment of lease on Lakefield Airport Hangar number 192 to Mulhouse, from Mulhouse, excuse me, to Air Arizona Incorporated.
Second.
And authorize the chair to sign.
Authorized chair to sign.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Next, I have board consideration of airport ground lease at Lakefield for airport hangar number 339. This is in the name of Victor Sierra LLC, as we just mentioned. So this is a proposed hangar, and once the lease is in place, the lessee will have 12 months pursuant to this particular lease, 12 months to construct the hangar. I know they've already been in contact with engineering, and I think a lot of that's done. I'm just seeing right now, my apologies, I don't know that I included in your packet the Exhibit A, which is just the overview, so you can locate it. That will be included when we record this as well. Just an overview that actually, do you create that or does Carrie create that?
I create one. I don't know if GIS creates one for the address.
In any case, I think I neglected to put that in to your packet.
Well, in that case, I will make a motion that we approve airport ground lease at Blake Field for airport hangar number 339 under the name of Victor Sierra LLC, and authorize chair to sign.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done.
Alrighty, thank you. That's all I have for the board's consideration under the regular session. I do have one item under executive session this morning. That would be pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 246402 4B under advice of counsel. The topic to be discussed would be discussion and advice regarding the possible sale of county-owned real estate. I would remind everyone that is present in the executive session to keep your discussion and topics only to that matter. I recommend the board go into executive session for that purpose. And if I'm looking right, I think that the board can adjourn after that's done.
Well, I'll move the board go into executive session as recommended by council for the discussion and advice regarding possible sale of county-owned real estate. In executive session will be Terry Stevens, Craig Fuller, Mike Lane, Wendell Coons, Robbie LaValle, John Bear. And you guys? Okay. Scott Sheets, Tim McCracken.
I will second the motion.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so done.